Hey, good morning. Oh, another humid day. It is not hot. Okay, we've been out playing. He's a little wound up. He started to calm down a little bit, and then I thought, I want to make a video. And then I realized he's probably not done being run because it was too humid out there for me. So I decided to give him a new Goodwill toy. You know, this is so cute that I thought about giving it to a next door neighbor, but it's just not in very good condition. It's been in a corner somewhere. It smells okay, but it's kind of dingy, dusty. Anyway, I'm about to give him this toy. I made him sit, wait, and he's going out of his mind. So you get to see him at the happiest he can be. Frankie, come. Come. Jump. Nope, jump. Good boy. Look at this face. Look at that face. Good boy. Look at that tail. That's a serious tail wag. Look at that. I wish there was a way to magnify that for you. Oh, he's so happy. Oh, good boy. Good boy. See the tail going in a circle? He doesn't do that very often. Good boy. You got it? He's figuring it out. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, ta-da! Another hot, humid summer day. It's not even that hot out. That's what's so weird. How are y'all doing? Did you have a good weekend? I didn't feel like I had a weekend. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on, I have an idea. So I don't have very good memories. I had to take notes. Thank goodness I wrote it down. So I wanted to write down a special appreciation for Rainy. Hello. I wanted, I love how you mentioned that I'm real and kind of omission of the BS. That's so cool. Thank you. I find that one of the biggest compliments. I'm not a lot of fluff. I'm pretty I babble. But and Carol M shared about, Carol shared about getting rid of things and how hard that is because sometimes you have memories. Man, I get that. Matter of fact, I was able to let go of a couple more little things this weekend. I'm really proud of myself. But there are some things that I still have not gotten rid of. That box of leathers is still in my office / dressing room. And Melanie, Melanie, thank you for sharing about, you know, how we talked about you can go through tough things and have the power to change and let go. You know, that's a huge challenge. And Diana talked about weight loss. Girl, are you the one who told me about joining a gym? I want to know how that went. Did you ever go? Because I'll tell you what, I spent $400 on a specialty gym one time because a girlfriend talked me into it. We were going to go all the time. And then her and my schedule didn't mix up real well. And honestly, I didn't like it. I didn't like the gym. I went once or twice. I felt silly being at a gym that looked and smelled like that and sounded like that. It just was not my cup of tea. Very expensive membership. So anyway, today I'm going to talk about weight loss. Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Oh, good. Thank you for your patience on that. So the deal is with weight loss is that for years, understand I believe from what research I've done. Oh, he's having a good time. One of the reasons why I do this, and these are inexpensive toys. I don't get in toys that are like really icky in my home, but you can tell this one was gently loved for a while. But it wasn't tore up, it wasn't smelly. It just looked like it had been around the house a little bit. Anyway, so I believe DNA and heritage is affected by heritage. DNA is affected by culture. So I think that I have, and I've watched some people, is based on their diet for generations, their body holds on to fat for certain lengths of time, longer or shorter than other people from different cultures, right? So, meaning, I think, if your parents are overweight, you're more bound to be overweight. That's the last research I read, and I studied in school. So give me what did you find that was crunchy? I thought I had everything off. Let go. Let go. Let go. What is that? Good boy. Good boy. Oh my God, this is so cute. I didn't see this on there. It's like a little amethyst. And that's plastic. But boy, does that look good for plastic. My goodness. He's not happy I took it, but that's okay. I don't know if I can get as close. Oh, he's going to town. So, some weight is a little more difficult to lose than others. That's the truth for some people. Oh my goodness. I love seeing him reduce his stress like that. It's like watching your kid do a gymnastics thing. You know, it's not always that they're perfect at it. It's that they're wearing themselves out. They're interested in something. So anyway, if you do a deep dive in research, you'll find that what I'm saying is probably still true. If the research has changed, I apologize. Matter of fact, I think I have the research paper that I read and that we went over. It was in one of my classes, actually. But a lot of reasons why, because everyone in class was like, why aren't people talking about this? And you know that the CDC and the National Health Organization, they really do control the DSM-5, and they do control information that goes out, and it does not profit anyone to be able to say it. It causes a lot of backlash for fitness places and for self-esteem for people to have the information. This is my opinion. This is my opinion from years of observation. For instance, saying someone's labeled as diagnosable because they have anxiety or depression. It's like everybody has anxiety and depression almost. And the reason why they don't talk about it is because it's diagnosable. Now, there's deeper depression and there's higher anxiety than the normal range, but that's not as frequent as you think. But if you can convince everybody they have all this anxiety and deep depression just because they're sad, right? Or just because they're kind of fat or chubby, or my grandma called me fluffy. Well, anyway, my heritage was not overweight. Like, nobody in my family was overweight. If they were overweight at all, they were just a little fluffy, chubby, almost hefty, but not fat or obese. Just wasn't in the family. However, I'm not saying any of those are bad. I mean, I know people who are very happy with the extra weight and they're voluptuous. I really like the fact that people who insist on smoking, I'm really impressed with people who are not proud of it, but they own it. Like, yeah, I smoke. Thank God for cigarettes. Better than heroin. And cigarettes has saved the lives of many people. When I want to commit homicide, I just light up. Right? And I think the same thing is fair to say about people who are, and I'll use the word fat. I hate the word obese because that's so diagnosable. Or people who are chubby. Remember when the muffin top started and then the big butt and all that? Some people carry it well and they're not complaining about it. They're not unhappy about it. And I just find that delightful. I mean, go ahead. If cigarettes are dangerous, being overweight's dangerous, you know what? Live your life. Live your life. Especially if you carry insurance. I mean, if you're paying for your insurance and you're paying your health bills, you know, whose business is it? I don't know. That's how I feel today. Anyway, but for me, I probably, oh God, I don't know when I finally reached 100 pounds. I believe I was in 10th grade. No, I think I was still 95 pounds then. I was very, very ill. And I had a lot going on. We'll talk about that down the road. I will. I'll tell you how that time frame for me was devastating and ridiculous, right? In the nervous system. So on top of my genetics and my anxiety level, I was burning calories sitting. I have to put on some makeup. What shall I put on today? I think I'm gonna experiment again with this real light L'Oreal. I love this makeup, but this is way too light for me. So I'm gonna put it on and then put that dark powder on again. I think that's good. Yeah, see, it's pretty light. Oh, okay, back to weight. So anyway, when I discovered drinking alcohol, that's when I started gaining weight. So I was probably, Oh gosh, I was pretty young when I discovered alcohol. I was probably I started experimenting with my mom's nerve pills when I was a very young child. I'm gonna tell you some of that down the road too. Today's not the day. Today we're talking about weight, but I'm trying to think of. Thanks for making me think. Trying to think of how old I was when I really started drinking. I started gaining weight probably when I was a late teen. I didn't look so anemic. So I know I finally hit, 100, 110, 115 maybe. Around 16, 17. I'm pretty sure. So the reason I believe I did that is because partially of adolescent hormones kicked in. So I started feeling out in certain areas when I did eat. And then the alcohol carried calories. Because I didn't drink just like straight whiskey. I always mixed it with a Pepsi or something. Or Coke. If I'm drinking straight soda, I used to Pepsi straight, Coke if it was mixed in something. Isn't that weird? Anyway, my skin's a little dry. I think because I've used a low dose of Retin-A the last couple weeks. I'm not real loyal about it. I put it on for a couple days in a row and then don't. So, sorry. I figure at my age, put some powder. Anyway, I started gaining a lot of weight. As a matter of fact, when I got really depressed, really down, because of some life occurrences, I got to where I was actually eating my emotions and drinking my emotions at the same time. And I'm putting on this darker powder from Fit Me. I love this powder. The other powder I used is the Coty. And remember, I told you that it was too light for me right now, so I got a really dark one and mixed some of it in. So I think this is kind of the way to go with some of my foundations that are just too light anymore. Keep me from looking like a ghost. Anyway, I will tell you this. I actually ate. I remember being by myself, so lonely, and that was 310. Yeah, I love that. And I ate a whole Domino's large pizza. Now this was back in the 80s. And back then a large was a pretty good size. And a whole bottle of amaretto on the rocks. I didn't know I was getting chubby. I was probably up to size 18, which isn't big for most people, but it was big for me, I guess, because it was big for me because I had no idea I was getting that big. I just didn't realize I was gaining that much weight for my frame. I am 5'6", 5'6" or 5'7", I can't remember. And I had never been that heavy before. I didn't notice the stretch marks showing up. Seriously, I mean, it was a big, fast change from going to 110, 15 pounds to 160. And that happened 60-ish. I don't know if it's 60, 67, and something like that. Seriously, I had no idea how much weight I gained. I mean, I knew I was getting probably bigger jeans. We didn't have soft pants back then for kids. We made fun of old ladies who wore elastic waists. We didn't do that. We didn't have sexy leggings at all. Unless you're Jane Fonda. And I don't know. My crowd didn't go around looking like Jane Fonda. Back in the 70s, 80s, we just did not do that. So, anyway, when I saw a picture of myself, I was like, wow, who is that? I had one of those comfy shirts on, so it made my arms look really big. And the way that, and I blamed the angle of the camera for how big my thighs looked. To me, I'm not saying that's a heavyweight for anyone else, so please don't think that. It was for me. It was shocking for me, especially because I didn't have friendly people around taking pictures of me or us or, you know, anything like that. So when I got a picture of myself in a Polaroid or something, probably, I hadn't seen my dad in probably decades. No, it had been decades the first time I saw him. So this would have been maybe 5 years since I had seen him, my birth dad. And that's enough of that. And so he took a picture of me, and I was like shocked. So he took another picture of me. It was with the Polaroid camera, so I could have a copy of it, so I could wrap my mind around how much I weighed. And I got a nice picture of him, and but he gave me a picture because I was so shocked. He was like, well, here, let me give you, because he says, yeah, this is what you look like. He goes, it's fine. You're a beautiful girl, blah, blah, blah. He was actually the first person in our family, I think, ever in generations to go to college. And he studied psychology. How about that? Turned out to be a trucker, but he did study psychology. I think partially from being a war vet, he felt like that was interesting to him. Anyway, side note. He was in the Korean War, and I don't know that that experience bothered him so much as a combination of his childhood and, you know, being an adult in the 60s, a young adult, wasn't the same as being a young adult in the 80s, 90s, thousands, right? Very different. So when he lost touch with my biological mother, he lost touch with us. So my anxiety started very young, feeling unwanted. And I do believe that as I'm eating, because of research I've done with others, but on myself as well, is I catch myself eating what I call dumb food. Like going to town on a bag of Oreos, right? Our brain has a mechanism that flavors stop tasting good normally after so many minutes of being stimulated. Like, you can only have an orgasm for so long. The body says, okay, that's enough of that, for obvious reasons. And the brain also connects to the stomach. So when the stomach is a certain expansion, your brain says, I'm full, and will be satisfied, and will stop the craving mechanism to get some food inside because we're so hungry if we wait too long. So if we're a gentle eater, we recognize when the food doesn't taste as flavorful as it did the first 3, 4, 5 bites or whatever. Try it. Try that experiment. See, I experimented with myself. I was eating because I was lonely. I was eating because I had been so hungry for so long. I mean, I knew what it was like to be living out in the country with no food in the cupboards or in the refrigerator. Are you happy? There he is, all happy. Wore himself out. I've got a mess to clean up. There's my boy. He's so dignified. So when we are hungry physically or emotionally, we have body memory, we have neural pathway memories of the hunger, right? And hunger for love and hunger for food are very strong. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? This has a little red in it, or almost a brick color. I've shown you that old palette before that I got from the Dollar General. I got lucky. I haven't seen it since, or I'd buy another one. You know how they are. I like it. The more I do this with that little bit of red, the more I like it, especially since I've been adding more color to my foundation. I like that. I like that a lot. I need some lip color, man. I'm going to use my, since this is sort of a brickish color, I'm going to use my expensive MAC. This is that little souvenir I bought myself when I went to go see my godmother. Anyway, back to the weight thing. So yeah, I'm gonna put some mauve over it. I can't help it. It's just not my favorite color. I think it's a little too cheerful for this color eyeshadow. Well, that didn't help a lot, but it calmed it down enough. I'm not going to be a crybaby about it. So anyway, about the weight. I gained all that weight, and when I finally wrapped my mind around it, and I was so unused to, because again, the weight's so fast. I was so unused to a couple things. One, I went to a store to find a new pair of jeans because when I trust me, I'm not stupid, but I'm a little kind of almost like naive sometimes. Slow to pick up the ball in certain areas that I don't find, something I pay much attention to. So if for instance, I was gaining weight and didn't realize it. Well, what happens is then when I went to go buy jeans again and was shopping at this, I went to a store called Foxmore, and it was kind of like a Forever 21, just not as racy. And, oops. I had my brush at too much of an angle. Kind of did a side swipe. So I went to Foxmore and I was looking through the jeans and I couldn't find any that fit me. And I kept going to the larger and larger sizes. And so this real cute skinny girl comes up to me and says, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I can't find a pair of jeans that fit me." And she goes, "Well, we don't carry sizes for girls your size. We don't carry sizes for girls like you." Something like that. And I just remember thinking, ow. I mean, it was like, ugh. It was like I was stabbed in the heart or something. I had never heard anything like that out loud. I had always said it inside my head and my heart. So to hear her say it, it felt like I had just walked through a very important door. It was mortifying. I don't believe any of that, all that's true as far as like that labeled me. But what it did was, I mean, all these memories started happening when I got this picture then. They was like, wait a minute. It's not because I'm broken, girls like you. Oh my God, the shame that I felt. It was just, I could have thrown up. It was horrible. I thank God I made it out of there. And thank God for therapy. Jesus. Sorry, God. Man. Oh, God, that was a hard memory to let go of because it was sort of the, you know how files have that little tab at the top? It was like shame was the name of that file. And that was one of those important experiences that proved I had every right to feel ashamed. Oh my God, it was horrible. Just vomit horrible. Mascara, that's what I need. Do you know what? I bought several of these because I thought they were real dupes that I got from Timo. It is not a dupe. It is not a dupe. I love the real lash one. Matter of fact, it's the only mascara that I've used that I'm willing, to pay for. Because I'm not willing to pay for expensive mascara because I get the same results off of Great Lash. Great Lash is the mascara extraordinaire. And I like to bend the wand to make it easier. Another reason why I love this, it's just so easy to use. This is like the flower of the recipe for makeup. That's how I feel about Great Lash. I like to, and I forgot to do this. I must have used my black marker for something and didn't put it back. That's why. I'll write the date that I'm going to throw it away. I used to write the date that I opened it, and then I kept pushing it a little bit. But I forgot to write the date on this. I like to write the date because once they kind of expire, my eyes feel it. So there you go. Anyway, back to being overweight. I tried everything back then. And back then, the only thing that people really were doing for weight loss was, there were a couple different doctors who would prescribe different medications that were basically amphetamines. People were using, there were several different weight loss snacks. Like there was one called, it was a candy called AIDS. Seriously, this is just before the AIDS, it's several years before the AIDS thing really blew up. But they took that off the market. I haven't seen anything like it. But anyways, a little piece of chocolate. It was supposed to have some kind of African native plant in it. And then a vitamin company came out with, it was in the 80s. Yeah, the AIDS candy was in the early 70s. Frankie, quit. It's like having a cat. He's always cleaning. Anyway, I need some more blush. Frankie, quit. I think that's enough. I might have to go do something with my... Stop. So, let's see, in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s, I didn't. I remember my mother had that candy in the refrigerator. She would get a little fluffy, what I think I would call a little husky once in a while, but that's because she drank a lot. It certainly wasn't through food and nutrition and an opulent lifestyle. But let's see, I'll leave one on. So once again, in my genetics and culture. So when I was then in the late 80s, that vitamin sometime in the 80s, that vitamin they had from a couple different, pyramid scheme vitamin places, where you go to all your friends and sell these vitamins. That vitamin didn't work for me. It had so much what felt like caffeine in it. It made me nuts. Anyway, I think they took that off the market. That I don't know. I don't even remember the name of that vitamin company. But anyway, I'm telling you all of this to let you know that there are lots of different things that people have tried to lose weight. And in the late 80s, I knew I was a little chubby, and I was still drinking and emotion eating. So I was so lonely at night, I would eat a whole bag of Fritos, a bag on my belly, watching one of the 3 channels that we had back then in my hometown if you didn't pay extra. I think we had cable in the 80s. And then I found the Jane Fonda workout tapes. So I got a VCR player, and started watching her VCRs and working out. I even had leg warmers, and it's when I bought my first real tennis shoes, like workout tennis shoes. But I was still drinking. And so I was drinking more calories than I was working out. Anyway, in 92, I quit drinking. And I was eating okay. I wasn't eating so much because I was more active. I wasn't just drinking, sitting on my butt all the time. I mean, I was working during the day, but I wasn't active. I was standing working or sitting working. I wasn't active. But once I got sober, I was getting active in the evenings. As a matter of fact, someone I worked with, we were going rollerblading almost every night after work. Oh, God, it was so awesome. Anyway, the weight started just falling off because of my genetics, right? Then I didn't have a problem with weight until I was in my late 40s, turning 50, and it turned out I was premenopause. And I was like, what are you doing? You haven't had that position before. Oh, you got your buddy. Oh my goodness, didn't you do a nice job? Oh, goodness. So, I gained some weight and could not figure out how to get it off. Well, then I had to start looking at what I was willing to give up. I was lonely again, and I was eating a bag of Oreos on my belly every night as I was falling asleep. I didn't realize how I was sabotaging my weight until I really slowed down and thought about it. And I mean, I was putting them away, just like I used to do the Fritos and pizza back in the day. So I recognized that I was eating like it was an addiction. You know, it's not that you overeat, it's how's it affecting your life. And I realized that I had a nice wardrobe, and I was outgrowing it again. So when I went to lose weight, I decided to try something a little different. Instead of trying these diet schemes and supplements, I started chipping away, like one cookie at a time. So it's kind of like, you know, in my book, if smoking works for you, fine. Just ask yourself, is there a way to cut out one? Is there a way to just skip one cigarette? Because I believe our bodies heal pretty quickly if we're not overcharging them. So please don't sue me for saying, oh, don't quit smoking, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you insist on smoking, then can you limit it at all? Or every time you light up, you're saying F it. Slow down. When you go to light a cigarette, when you go to pick up an Oreo or cookie or whatever it is that you eat, ask yourself, what are you thinking about yourself, about your life, about your state of mind as you stick it in your mouth? And that's what started helping me. If I decided I'm going to have some Oreos, I have some Oreos. But I put them in a little bowl and decide how much I decide I'm willing to eat. I don't just get them out of the bag anymore. Well, now I have a couple times, but I get out as many as I'm going to eat and put them in my hand. I don't just normally eat them right out of the bag. Matter of fact, I don't do that because I don't like any kind of... The longer a bag is open, the more germs that are in there. You know what I mean? Just from breathing close to the bag. So I cut back in little places just enough. And then I exercise in little places just enough. Like when I'm putting on my, when I'm brushing my teeth, I have my radio on. I have a little radio there, just like I do on my makeup table. So I'm moving while I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm also doing, it's a real gentle stress and movements just to kind of wake up my body. I'm not overdoing it. People go, oh, I don't want to go do yoga today, or I don't want to go do my stretches today, because I have to put so much effort into it. But I do it in a very gentle way, halfway, 25% way. Just a little bit of movement. I'm not doing the whole thing and making, I mean, that's stressful, especially early in the morning if you haven't already stressed, right? Stretched. Don't stress yourself when you're stretching. That's what I'm saying, especially first thing in the morning. And then as you work through the day, like in between my clients, I make sure my files are far enough from my desk, so I have to stand up and get up, right? So my blood is flowing, my intestines are moving, and I get up, and it's just a few steps, but it adds up. One cookie at a time, one cigarette at a time, to equalize what I'm not doing. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna, what did I eat yesterday? I ate fried food yesterday. I know that I have trouble sometimes eating fried food. It hurts my tummy. But I hadn't had a hurt tummy in a long time. So I'm not going to, I'm going to think, oh, I know. I overate on the fried food, and I didn't even order vegetables with that to-go order. Didn't even order vegetables. It was chicken and waffles. That's it. So anyway, that's a lot of calories. So I decided not to eat dessert, and I went for a walk around the block. I went down about 5 blocks, over 1, came back 4 blocks, and came into the house. So it was a little bit of something. When I'm not talking to you, when I'm putting on makeup, I have my little radio on right here. It's so cute. I got this off of Amazon. I just love it. And it's battery operated, so if I have a storm and want to listen, I can do that. And anyway, it's little things. And I also have this this stretching. I don't know if she calls it yoga. It's it's just stretching, and you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on TV if you have one of those speak in your receptor channel changer. If you speak into that and put stretch or stretching or yoga, different things will come up. And there's a lady, her program's called Stretch. I can't remember it right now, but if you want me to, I'll find it. But anyway, I put that on, and it only lasts 20 minutes or 30 minutes max, from the introduction to the end. The actual exercise lasts very little, and it's gentle stretches. And you can actually work it hard, or you can work it gently. And sometimes I only do it for 5 or 10 minutes, but I feel like I have someone leading me to do it, right? And in the mornings when I walk the dog, before I walk him out front, I take him in the back and let him go potty. And that's where I just start doing my little stretches. And it may burn a half a calorie, right? But it's burning a little bit. And then on days that I do eat, like I'm a conscious human being trying to take care of my vessel, I'm not gaining, all that much. So I think it's kind of exciting. Now, right now, I'm going to share with you something that I did that not a lot of people can afford to do. But what I did is I went to a doctor. When the first time I did it, one of the attorneys I was working for to help prep his clients for court turned me on to his doctor, one of his doctors, who was helping him be healthy to the highest level it could be. And he would get a blood test, and then it would go through like 9, 10, 12 vials of blood, and they would run all kinds of tests on it, and then a sheet would come back, and then the doctor would help coach him on the foods that he was sensitive to, not allergic to. Because the doctors will run tests from usual, like if you use your insurance, they'll run tests to show what you're allergic to, tongue swelling, anaphylactic shock kind of thing. But this is about food sensitivities, which is different. It's the foods that just cause inflammation, little breakouts, little itches, little strange itches, like when you're falling asleep at night, your feet and inner thighs. Something that feels like something's running up your back, or the palms of your hands, things like that, or little spots that come up. Those food sensitivities are what cause that inflammation and this your body trying to heal itself, so it swells up. Anyway, it's more complicated than I know how to explain. I got mine done, and this was post-menopause, and I was still, carrying extra weight that I didn't want to carry, and I just didn't feel that great. So I got talked into spending the money, oh my God, on that. And I lost 15 pounds in just a few weeks. I think 25 in 6 weeks. And I was down to a weight that I was very happy with. So, like I'm 130. I flux between 125 and 135. Once I'm at 135, I see 140 coming, in my mind's eye. And that's hard weight to get off. By the time I let myself go that far, it takes a lot of self-discipline if I've let my brain relax that much on how to take care of myself. It also shows that I either have a health problem, which now that I'm on the other side of menopause this far, I shouldn't have that kind of weight gain unless I'm misbehaving, unless I'm not respecting my body, unless I'm not respecting the past record, the proof that I can't be as healthy as I want to be if I'm eating all those extra foods. I mean, heck, I laid on the sofa yesterday watching some Hallmark Channel, and I ate probably a small bowl. Well, if I took a bowl, it would have been at least half full of Cheeto Puffs. I don't usually eat those. I like the crunchy ones. But I ate them because they were so fun to eat. But I've also been practicing for years now how my brain notices that they don't taste the same after I've had a few. And my stomach says, I've had enough of that. I'm not hungry. I eat it as a snack before dinner. And so I was able, it's about self-discipline. If people would understand the word self-discipline, discipline, commitment, those words are $1 million words. If we had self-discipline and commitment, oh God, can you imagine what a great world it would be? And the reason why I practice it is because it's kind of part of my spirituality, part of my own personal religion, self-discipline and commitment, because I fell short of those for so long. And that when I started getting a taste for them, my self-esteem, my sense of pride and dignity raised, and I just felt like, I'm living my life now. It feels different, and it doesn't have to be perfection. That's what most health issues is around self-discipline and commitment, mental health, physical health. When I say, I'm going crazy because that person aggravates me so bad, especially when it's a relative and I can't, it's like, wait a minute. If I use my self-discipline and my commitment, if I figured that out, wrote it down, where I'm lacking and some of the choices I actually do have in dealing with that, it'd be done deal. It'd be all right. The stress would go down. The need to overeat would go down. The need to just sit and pout and watch, well, for me, Hallmark Channel or History Channel. Oh God, I love History Channel and Discovery Channel. It wouldn't be an issue. So I guess at the end of the day, you have to figure out, is it hormones? Is it culture? Is it, so if you have those things that are, that are extra challenges to the lack of self-discipline and commitment to taking care of yourself, lack of self-discipline to how to follow through with would be a more correct way to eat, and the commitment to valuing yourself, your vessel, valuing this more, right? Is it easy? No. Is it hard? Yes. Simple, not easy. That's why there are words like self-discipline and commitment. And if you can afford to go get those blood tests, they've come way down. So if you're exercising, if you're moving around at all, like I do, like I'm almost always moving around, especially because I have muscles and chiropractic issues that I'm always working on. So I might not spend an hour dancing, but by the end of the day, I've danced an hour probably, counting all the moving around, standing up, sitting down. Go to the doctor and get checked out. And you can go to the lab and get your blood work done to see what foods might be making you swell up against your will without your knowledge. I know that I get mine done. There for a while, I was getting mine done every other year. And then I got it done in 5 years. And now I'm not doing it so much. I can tell pretty much that I've stabilized for the most part. I might do it again in another year or two. But I haven't done it in about 5 years. And so, be smart. Don't play dumb. A lot of people, honestly, and this is why I love the work that I do. Because I get to watch people. Frankie, stop. Just for another 2 minutes. Thank you. I watch clients come in and they sound dumb. Like, do you hear you right now? Right? And look at that face. And so, I mean, long story short, I'll say, okay, I want you to say what you just said to me, but slow down and listen to what you're saying. Please. And they will. And I can see in their faces that they start to hear themselves and they think, oh. And so I'll ask them, what did you just hear? If you were me, what did you just hear you say? What would you say to that person? And they're like, oh, wow, basically what they're saying is, wow, you're playing dumb. You know better than that. I'm like, right. So here's the deal. I don't work with people who don't have their mental faculties. Not my cup of tea. There are other therapists for that. But I do work with a lot of hard-headed people. A lot of smart people who figure a workaround. Well, there's no workaround in some things. There just isn't. So I will be your cheerleader. I'll push you. I'll call you out on it when you're being silly. But if this weight issue is something you want to work on, then we'll work on it. Or cutting back on cigarettes, or cutting back on alcohol, or stopping and trying to figure out how to live life without them. Because it's not easy. Thank God for food. Thank God for the fact that our body is healthy enough to overeat. Hey, if overeating works for you, do it, right? Don't listen to all the politics on TV and stuff. Don't listen to the fat pride or the fat shaming. Turn that stuff off. You decide what's good for you. Don't be swayed by the politics and the social media. Frankie, for gosh sakes, stop. Right? You decide what you value. Do you value your life on this planet at this time? Yes. How do you want to feel about yourself and your body until the day you die and don't have one anymore? Good question. Well, you want it to be as attractive as possible, as healthy as possible, to last as long as possible. You want to have an energy level that's acceptable. Okay, good. Now, what are you willing to do for it? What are you willing to not do for it? Yeah. All right, think about it. Write it down. It's a good topic. Let me know what you think. Okay. We both love you. Even Frankie. Oh, he looks so abused right now. Honey, relax those ears. Mama loves you. I know, it's kind of rough on him this morning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have never abused this dog more than a couple minutes at a time. No, I'm kidding. Why do you act like you're scared of me? Why? Why? What? Did you see that? He acted like a... What? You are an actor. Why are you acting like that? Why are you acting like you're scared of me? Quit. He's so sensitive. I guess when I yelled at him, it hurt his little feelings. He's so sensitive. He loves me so much. He loves me so much. And I love him. Oh my God. All right. We're done for the day. I gotta get in the office. Say bye, Frankie. Oh my God. What? 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 What, baby? Huh? What? 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 Okay, there's a tail going. What? I don't know. What? Aw, look it. You love me again? You love me again? You love me again? Oh my God. How do you not love this dog? He's so sensitive. Okay, we're gonna go get some treats. Hey, ladies, I love you. So let me know what you think. Anyway, I'll be thinking of you, and I want you to have a wonderful day. And thank you very much for the topic. I appreciate it. That was so wonderful. What? Say bye to Diana. Tell her thank you. I just spilled my coffee a little bit. Oopsie. All right, I gotta get going. All right, bye for now.